This is the wrong animal.
Oh my god, what happened to Chi?
This is Bailey, is my mum's dog. Welcome to my mum's house. We're up here, we're watching films. And we subjected my little sister to slay.
Inappropriate much.
What?
Poisoning the minds of the younger generation.
With
She's
fabulousness.
16, there's not a lot left to poison.
With fabulousness.
Yeah? So, anywho, would you like to give a brief description of what it is before going into spoiler territory?
Basically, Slay is a 2B original, though not very original, because it's basically the second half of From Dusk Till Dawn with drag queens. So they're in a bar. Suddenly there's vampires. You fight the vampires. There's some people die, some people don't, some people end up in drag. That thing was not in From Dusk Till Dawn, but that would have improved it. Many reviewers at the time did, say as much. But you got, I think, like 3 of the leads in this were from RuPaul's Drag Race, and you got a bunch of quote unquote normie actors, and there is fabulousness and killing of vampires, and it's very silly.
Yeah. So, general first impressions before going into spoiler. I love this. I was expecting it to be really cheesy and kind of terrible, but it was actually a genuinely good and enjoyable film. There is one character in particular called Sheila. I just love her. Every line out of her is just gold.
If Willoughby had not been created for the Condemned to Live review, Willoughby would have been retooled to be this character.
Yeah, definitely. I would have been Sheila. Did you, Jordan? Oh, right.
Well, I liked it enough to be all like, hey, you should watch Slay, it was fun. And to get you to watch it, convinced that you'd enjoy it. So, you don't really need me to explain that I liked it, because yes, I did like it. I mean, it's a little bit thin, shall we say, but it's not meant to be very particularly deep. It's amusing.
Well, I'm going to be the odd one out and say I didn't particularly enjoy it.
Boo!
Last one?
Yeah.
What fun?
I just didn't really like it. Didn't think much of most of the characters. Found it paper thin. Some of it was fun. There was some of the actions taken. The reveal that I can't say that because spoiler territory. Spoilers from this point on.
The reveal that something happened at some point to someone.
The reveal that half the crew were already vampires, we didn't know it, was amusing, and how that was handled. The way they had one person and then another person is like, oh, you mean we already have 2 vampires among us? It's like,
well, about that.
I found that amusing, but just generally I didn't particularly like it. I appreciate that there are people who do. I just wasn't one of them.
Boo!
Mysterious voice in the background. Do you want to chime in on this? What do you think?
I like it. I think it's really good. And if you're a fan of glitter, you're going to like the movie, so...
There you are. The voice of the younger generation.
Yep. I was before we did this. After watching, I was looking up the maker and to see if they'd seen anything else they'd done, and I had. The writer director of this was the showrunner and main writer and main director of a show called Vagrant Queen, which is possibly the worst thing I've ever seen. So congratulations on improving in the last couple of years.
Fair enough.
Imagine a space opera show done by this person.
I think he showed me one like that.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Limited budget, I'm sure.
Yes!
It reminds me of a joke they made in this one. If we were retelling this story, this would need a hell of a budget. This is badass!
Yes, that was also amusing. Deliberately having the shot and everything happening off screen, reference, but also some slight things happening on screen. It was amusing.
Spoilers from this point on. If you don't want
I already
spoilers...
said spoilers earlier.
Yeah, but we didn't actually
And I
say
did.
which one.
I told them about the vampires being in their midst.
Sure.
That's a clear spoiler.
Further spoilers.
Spoilers from this point on.
Further spoilers from this point on. We're going to talk about the story.
Story? There's a story?
Yes.
There's
Drag queens are fabulous, being fabulousing, and then there are rednecks, and then there are vampires.
There's a biker bar in the middle of nowhere, run by self-loathing sort of
Drag queens at bar, vampires attack,
Mm-hmm.
they split up, people die, others don't die, some are vampires, they win, the end.
There's two really good storylines though.
Yeah, go on.
There's two really good ones. You know the barman? Like the
Dusty?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dusty.
Character development, yeah.
Yeah. See, so that's a good storyline. And then there's a love one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can boil any story down to a very, very quick thing if you want to.
And I
There
did.
is also the story of acceptance of differences.
Exactly.
Travis.
Exactly.
I wouldn't. Travis didn't exactly leave this in a very much better place.
But they're all right in his book.
Slightly better.
Oh wow! Good work. You go from I fucking despise to we go through the whole night and don't die and support each other, including getting his life saved. And it's like, yeah, okay, I think I can tolerate you.
Look at the United States. That's basically what you can get right now.
Yeah.
But you can boil anything down to that extremely sort of fine thing. War and Peace, over 1,000 pages. You can boil it down to they fight and then they stop.
die.
No, and then they stop.
Oh, one word difference.
Yeah, see? Hey,
Well,
Bailey.
Overall, you have a drag queen act who comes to. One of them is the road manager and has booked the wrong venue. Instead of going to a well-known drag establishment,
The something tuck. They go to the Bold Buck instead.
the Bull Tuck.
There's a Bold Tuck.
Yeah. There's the Bull Tuck versus the Bull Buck.
Ah.
They end up in this stereotypical biker bar in the arse end of Dusty, Arkansas, I'm going to assume.
According to the end credits, it's
I'm
Dusty.
sorry, Arkansas.
According to the end credits, it's Dusty, South Africa.
But, so they are like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And they're like, no, we're gonna do our show. Because they're like these two little queer kids who are like, oh, you represent us so good. We really want to see your show. We're so excited. It's like, okay, fine, we'll stay with the little queerlings. we'll protect them. And then,
Members of the Alphabet Mafia.
yes. I have used that phrase many times before, and I think it's fun.
One of them was played by someone called Donya Cash. The character was called Jax, a very short-haired sort of person. But according to IMDb, Donya Cash, a couple of years ago, was in a Hallmark Christmas movie playing a character who also had very, very short hair, who was also called Jax, spelt the exact same way. And I looked on the internet, I couldn't find any information about whether this is a reference, or it's meant to be the same character, or if it's a joke, or what.
Is it bad that Jax made me think of a younger, hyperactive Omega?
I will let Omega judge that.
If there's like dial down the self-control and just turn up the goofiness and hyperactivity. Oh dear. But anyway, so in the background, the delivery guy who's supposed to be bringing food just gets jumped by a vampire. He ends up walking, huh?
That is really good at contour as well. I just have to add that on.
Yeah. The vampire had cheekbones for days.
Very important lesson, not to stop for a piss. Like he was also so bloody close to his delivery point.
Yeah.
Would you want to go to the toilets in that place?
Well, better that than the middle of the desert, especially when there's vampires about.
Well, we didn't
Well,
know
they didn't know
that.
vampires.
How do we know? He might have been taking a risk. Considering this world and what's been going on, vampires must be a thing. People must be more generally aware.
No, they were going
They had
based
this-
on pop culture.
Yeah, they had this whole conversation about vampires don't exist. Bitch, what's that?
Are you expecting the random... Okay, I'm killing my own argument, but the redneck following world affairs?
Oh, you're suggesting the very worldly delivery guy Rufus, who goes between a supermarket and a bar in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
He'll know about vampires. He'll have access to an arcane library, the Necronomicon. He's possibly gone to Miskatonic University and he's studied the dark arts. But
We're leaving Call of Cthulhu out of this.
Very much so. Rufus had his head on his shoulders. Whenever he needed to, he built an army. He disabled their ability to escape with cars and such. He took down the telephone lines. He proved himself much more intelligent than most of the others.
Did he really build an army, or did he rile up a hate mob?
He built an army. which was also a hate mob. He's definitely more intelligent than the people in the bar who locked the guy in the cold storage with a small little lock when we already had a demonstrated vampire who managed to throw a person across an entire room.
But that was Fat Boy. Fat Boy was
Yeah.
lovable.
He was also a vampire.
He was also vegan and gluten intolerant.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Rufus was Rufus. The name Rufus is a reference to red. You like the red one. That's what red hair. That's where the origin of the name comes from. But clearly, you're arguing that Rufus means red in a different sense in this case, as in the well-read one, because he knows about vampires and stuff.
Doesn't have to be
I
reading. You could just
Honestly,
be
thought
watching
you were going
news.
for a redneck joke there.
They're all Rufuses if
Yes.
you think of it that way.
Dear. So yeah, some of these like new spawn vampires too were acting more like zombies for a little bit. It seemed that as soon as they're fledgling, they're like,
It's
totally a thing.
It's kind of like the
It's
Sabat in Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah.
You one of their strategies, they're evil vampires from Vampire the Masquerade. One of their strategies is that they get someone, they will turn them, and when they're confused, they'll basically throw them at the enemy. When they get like the red bloodthirst, they'll start attacking them instantly. They call them shovel heads because it's basically equivalent of hitting them on the head with a shovel and then throwing them at the enemy as like a rabid dog. So similar sort of deal seemingly.
yeah, that's true. They actually had a point where they knocked out Fat Boy and he's just lying on the ground, and they are just having a full-on debate. Like, what rules are we going by here? Are we going by Twilight rules? Are we going by Blade rules?
Should have killed him. At least one less person would have been dead if they had. When he
Yeah.
came out of the cold storage, he killed somebody.
Yeah, the woman who wasn't there before that scene.
Yeah, and then there was a couple of people like that. And then after that, she was fighting. I don't recall if she killed anybody, but there could be multiple killed.
She did.
She killed
There you
Earl.
go. At least 2 people died because they made the wrong decision at that point.
Her Earl.
Yeah, Earl was good.
He had a rat-free son. Ironically, that is a term that originated from one of our Vampire the Masquerade games. I had a Nosferatu, and so I had to eat rats. So I constantly made a joke that I was like just sipping on my rat-piece run in the background. But anyway, so usual shenanigans. There wasn't much in the way of background music in this.
Yeah.
Nothing that was really notable. What?
There was Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, but that wasn't background music. That was like a full front center dance number.
Yeah, that was in Universe Music, diegetic music.
Yeah.
They had it was Cardi B, WAP, and
Gotcha.
the other one
Doja Cat?
Doja Cat. Yeah,
That was her name. Okay.
I read the credits.
Let's do that thing. Sound effects and dubbing. There was nothing that took me out of the film. So they did a pretty good job on that. The effects, questionable on several points, but again, at a very low budget. The gunshots are very obviously just painted on almost with a cartoon brush, but it kind of added to the charm.
Yeah, considering the budget, I think they did well visually. They spent the budget where they needed to. Nothing felt particularly terrible, and considering the low budget of this film, I would have expected far, far worse. I've seen far worse in films with 10, 20, 30 times the budget.
Jupiter Rising.
No, I was more thinking any modern Marvel film.
What's trying to say today?
I still maintain Jupiter Rising was a terrible film.
It was, but
I mean, Jupiter's
That-
Ending.
Yeah, that one, whatever.
yeah.
I was wondering if there was another film that I'm not aware of.
She does nothing in that film. She literally just gets dragged.
That's for
from
a
set to
different
set.
backseat
But
critique.
yeah, don't know anything. So, final thoughts.
It was very, very nice to see Jax and the third of the drag queens, or the last one, basically be excitable dumbasses together. That was
Bella?
very amusing. Yes, Bella. That was fun. And my headcanon is that the biker lady that Jax was fighting was an ex-girlfriend. It's never there's no indication of that in the film, but that's just headcanon.
fair enough. I was genuinely expecting whenever Jax was beating one of the jock guys to say, "This is for bullying me in school," but nah, never happened. Final thoughts?
As I said, I didn't particularly enjoy it, but if you like silly camp horror films, then by all means, you can't argue with the price of admission.
Yeah, because it's on Tubi, so it's literally free as long as you have Tubi in your country, which a lot of countries
As
do.
the internet keeps telling me, watch now, pay never.
Yeah, they have adverts instead. But yeah, this was done by the person who did Vagrant Queen, and you know it's quite apt because this stars 4 vagrant queers who are driving around in a bus.
It's an RV, and it was called Campy Van.
And it was considered a house.
A mobile home, actually.
Close in.
Still, vagrant queers.
I still can't believe that rule worked. It's like, this is a car, it's a home. You can't get in here. Shit. Or the crucifix isn't working. Wow, the church lied? Who'd have thought?
You could make the argument, because one of the classical bits of mythology to do with vampires is that they're basically very obsessive about things. And it's not so much there's a barrier stopping them from doing something, it's because they're obsessed about doing a thing. So, like, one of the traditional ways to get rid of a vampire, to stop a vampire, is to throw something at it, like beans or, like, you know, just a little collection of things, and they have to obsessively stop and count them. This is the origin of the Sesame Street character, the Count, why he likes to count. It's not just a joke on counting, it's also a joke in vampire mythology about their obsession with counting. So, if you take this obsessive personality that vampires apparently have in mythology, and you apply it to the door thing, what we have here is a guy who thinks it's part of the mythology. He thinks he has to follow that rule. Even though he might not have to, the vampire obsessiveness is making him follow it.
Oh, it's possible. But here's a hypothetical question for you to argue about in the comments. If a vampire is a cop, and he has a warrant, can he still enter your home without your express permission?
That would depend on the writer, I suppose.
I would say yes, because the warrant gives them permission to enter.
But it's not from the owner.
There's nothing, I don't believe there's anything that says the owner needs to give it.
If you have...
If somebody's staying in the house, a hotel room, for example, someone's renting the house, the renter doesn't own that
A
house.
hotel room is a public place.
Renter doesn't own the house.
Yeah,
Do you have to ask the landlord for permission to enter?
See, that's it's useful.
they don't own the house, but it is considered their home.
Finally,
I'm just saying that the justice system has the legal authority to do it, so I think they could.
you have just
vampires recognise the
Also-
law of the land?
Think about it. No one actually said come in to these vampires. It's because they just had a massive sign.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
a
That's
piece
an
of
order.
paper that said you can enter this premises would be the
It
same.
is also
sign.
technically a public house. It is a business.
Mm.
There's no explicit
Oh yeah.
thing.
we'll say your argument about the landlord thing. You finally come up with a reason to make for landlords existing. Make you safer from vampires.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So my final thoughts, I really enjoyed this. This was worth a giggle, despite Teddy's derision. I enjoyed a lot of the characters. Sheena is my favourite. She's great. The dialogue was pretty good. A lot of the visual jokes and the setups, the gags worked out really well. Overall, I would recommend it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Voice in the background. What are your final thoughts?
I'd recommend it. It's class. It is just a really, really good movie.
They are. It's class. The best recommendation you could get from a Northern Irish teenager. If she had said it was grand, then it would be a middling. But she said it was class. Alright?
It's actually stunning.
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 Stunning high. Alright, so that.
What if it was minging?
I wouldn't have watched it if it was Megan now.
You'd be telling the
Well-
film to saunter on then.
If we referred to it as banging too, that would cause some confusion. Because in mainland UK, the terms to describe something as banging means it's great, it's fantastic, it's tasty. Whereas here, banging means it's rank and it's stinking.
Well, scrumptious.
But anyway, so usual shenanigans. Check out our Discord
I
for.
suppose that's the difference between something is bollocks and something is the dog's bollocks.
Anyway, check out our Discord if you want to join in the chats and get little sneak peeks from her. check out our Patreon if you want to see some early releases, or you want to see if you want to help support the channel. You can also check out Ko-fi. We normally have a cat to do the Ko-fi joke, but no. Check out Ko-fi if you just want to give one-off little support, and like,
Indeed.
subscribe. Argue the laws of like tenant rights versus vampire entry down below.
Check the Redbubble if you want a weird t-shirt.
That too. And we'll see you in the next one, folks. Bye bye.